Today we're going to learn about the circle of fifths, part 1. In the upper left-hand corner, please make sure that you put your name. And in the upper right-hand corner, today's date. Let's start by reading over here to the left about the circle of fifths, which is a vocab word. The circle of fifths diagram shows the clockwise arrangement of major keys in an order of ascending fifths for sharp keys. With each added sharp, the key advances 5 letter names, and the tonic, another vocab word, or root, moves up a perfect fifth. So what they're showing here is the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. If we were to play a C major scale, we'd play all the white keys on a piano, or the notes I just named. If we went up 5 notes and we wanted the next scale to sound exactly the same, C, D, E, F, G, we'd start on a G. To make it sound the same, we would find, in order to make the intervals the same, we have to use a sharp. So we have to use F sharp. So the notes from G to G would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then G. And if we want to keep going to make the next scale sound exactly the same, like a major scale, we have to go up 5 more notes. So G to A to B to C to D. That would be a D major scale. And what's interesting is we have to add another sharp in order to make it sound the same. So D to D with 2 sharps in between, one on F and now one on C. As you can see, it's in the C space. Would be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And that would make it sound the same. And this would progress all the way down following our circle of fifths. A major, E major, B major, F sharp major, and C sharp major. You'll notice that these are actually the same because B is the same as C flat, F sharp is the same as G flat, and C sharp is the same as D flat. If you remember, we call them enharmonic. So before we go too far, I want you to understand that these 3 are enharmonic. Enharmonic, go ahead and write this in the bottom over here, are notes that sound the same, comma, but are spelled differently. Enharmonic, notes that sound the same, but are spelled differently. So those 3 scales in particular can be enharmonic. Could we have G sharp major scale? Of course we could, and it would be the same as, you guessed it, A flat major scale. But you can see that these all have a lot of flats and a lot of sharps. This scale has 6 flats, but it also has 6 sharps. Whereas this one has 7 flats, but only 5 sharps. So it would actually be easier to read this in the key of B major, which is why we don't tend to see C flat major. This one over here would have 5 flats in the key signature, but 7 sharps. So we'd prefer to read D flat major because there's only 5 flats versus 7 sharps. Now let's go back up and let's finish reading our second half now that we understand that if we go to the right, that's going to be a fifth, and that spells out the next major scale. The next part, flat keys, are presented in an order of descending fifths. With each added flat, the key moves back 5 letter names and the tonic moves down a perfect fifth. So we have C, B, A, G, F. C to F going down is 5 notes away. We add 1 flat to make it sound the same. So if we were to play F major scale and try to make it sound the same as C major scale, but with a new tonic, in this case called F, we would have to play F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. And it would sound the same. Going down 5 more notes, F, E, D, C, B, and it has to be a B flat because that's a perfect fifth. So now we'd have to do B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat in order to make it sound the same. So all B's and all E's are going to be flat. And you can find out what notes are flat by simply looking at the liner space. Every good boy does fine and face. You can do the same with your sharps to find out what liner space it's on. And remember, these are key signatures, not accidentals. So that means that those notes are in play for everything to the right of it until it changes. Now let's scroll down and read what it wants us to do. Number 1, write the flat keys in the order in which they are added as you go around the circle of fifths. So it wants flats first. Well, we know that flats go to the left, and it tells us the first one is B flat. So if we go to the left, there's our B flat. What's the next one? We already have B flat, so we have to find this guy. We know it's a space, so face, F, second space, A, C, third space, E. It's an E flat. Let's scroll back down, and we're going to put an E flat here. Remember, always capitalize, and then put your lowercase b. Now let's go back up, find the next one. So if we had B flat and E flat, here they are. Now we have to find the next one. It's a space again, so F, A, face. It's an A flat. Let's scroll back down. Okay, we got that done. Now let's scroll back up and keep going. As a matter of fact, we're smart enough we could do this even quicker than that. So if we have A flat, next one is D flat, G flat, C flat, and then F flat. And you can see that they are gradually added. We have 4 here. Now I'm only looking at the last one, the 5th one here. I'm only looking at the last one, the 6th one. And then again the last one, the 7th one. So let's scroll down and answer. B, E, A. Next one is D flat, G flat, C flat, and then F flat. B-E-A-D, greatest common factor. Bead, go Central Florida. Bead, greatest common factor. It's another way to remember it. So know your order of flats. If you ever see 3 flats, they will always appear. That would be the key of E flat major. And they would always appear B, E, and A in your key signature in that order. Number 2, write the sharps in the order in which they are added as you go around the circle of fifths. So I'm going to do the first one for you, and you can do the next one, okay? Let's scroll up. We know that we're going to have F sharp first. Fat cat, so we're going to have a C, and then looks like a G, it's on top, and then something here, and so forth. And I want you to figure out how they are added. Of course, instead of going in the circle, you're going to go outside the circle, and you're going to follow these where the sharps are until you get to the last one. The last one should be a B, so we know a few of them. I already gave a few of them to you, so I'm going to scroll down. We have F sharp, C sharp, I gave you G sharp, and I think I gave you the very last one, B sharp. I'll give you a hint. It looks a lot like number 1, but it's not exactly the same. There's something about them that looks awfully fishy. Okay, number 3. Directions say, write the names of the keys with sharps in order as they appear on the circle of fifths. So I'll do the first one here, this time the sharp keys. And I'm going to use a different color here. In this case, we'll use red to figure that out. We know that G will be the first one since we're going with sharp keys. Notice we skipped C major altogether because C major has no sharps and no flats, and you just need to know that that is C major. It has no sharps and no flats in it. So the first one would be G. Then the next one, D, A, E. Let's scroll down. Then we have B, F sharp, C sharp. So let's see if we can remember that. D, A, E. Next one is B, F sharp, and C sharp. So those are our sharp keys. The last one you can do, I'll do a little bit with you. It says, write the names of the keys with flats in the order as they appear on the circle of fifths. So once again, we're not going to worry about C major. The first one is the key of F, then the key of B flat, meaning the tonic, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat. There you go. I kind of just gave it to you, so I'll write a few of them, and you can do the rest. And I want to see you do the rest of the page on your own. Should be a piece of cake.